I've been thinking about some things about my design career, and I really stumbled and realized something that I really need to change. So this is so serious. I have a different setup. I want to show you specifically on my computer what I'm talking about exactly. And it really has to do with my portfolio. Now, for the longest time, I never really gave a lot of attention to my portfolio. What I mean by that is I've had different portfolios that exist online, and I normally look at them from the lens of a record of things I'm sharing so that I know and can watch my progress of what I've done in the past. This is a huge mistake. So in a sense, I've used my portfolio as a timeline of remembering the work I've done and to see my progress. But I'm going to tell you why this is a big mistake. So let's dive in and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So right now on your screen, you can see what is pretty much Behance, Behance.net. Behance is a place you can go to show and discover creative work, but also they give you a free portfolio that's available for you to use. And if you look at my portfolio, I've had it, let's see, and I can even zoom in. It says I've been a member since February 5th of 2013. So coming up in a couple of days of this recording, I would have had this portfolio up for 6 years. Now, the main problem with that is simply the fact that this, what you see here, is not my best work, nor is this the information of what I show my clients. And I'm going to tell you why this is not my best work, and I'll show you a few cases. So here's some work that I did in the past. It was for a nonprofit in Georgia, and I did some of their messaging, and I did some of their new website. And it's pretty basic. I just show a home page, some things that I did on their slider, and one of their internal pages. It's really not too fancy, and it's fairly simple, but that's it. And I put this up here in hopes of coming back and making it more refined, but I never did, and so this just sat here forever. Another project that I did is something that I did for a client. He is an author. He wrote a book, and he wanted to create a leadership site. Now, this site, I didn't have full creative control over it because he wanted it to look like a different site that already existed. So I couldn't just do whatever I wanted, but I did the best with what I could. And I lay out some things. I have this what it looks like on an iMac, maybe on a tablet. You can see that it even has an online store. So there's multiple parts to this, and many graphics created to pull this off. But ultimately, it's just okay. I have the home page, the store page. Scroll a little further down, you see those things repeated. Some web slider images that I made, which actually look fairly decent, but they're just okay, right? Nothing really stands out. And again, this is just okay. I did a project and I just put it up. Another piece of work I've had is my own personal site. I made this graphic for YouTube, and I made this as my own personal site. This was my first attempt at a site based on personal branding for myself. I've done it for other clients, but I never did it for myself. So this is what it looks like. I was proud and happy with it. But this is back when I had a site where the emphasis was what I did rather than me creating an online learning place and platform like I have today. So this is very different from what I have today, which is me sharing everything that I learned as the business of freelancing and even doing some business consulting. It's very different. A lot more content. So the website today is way different from what it started out as. But you got to start somewhere. And then I had even a little portfolio section on my site where I talked about a few things. But ultimately, again, it's just okay. I just have screenshots of a site I made. Okay. This was a conference that I did some branding for. It's called Manifest. And as you can see, this is back in 2014. And again, did some branding for it, made some posters, some advertisement. These were hung up around the building. And I even, did some branding with the logo. It went on different merchandise. It was on a pen, it was on pencils, it was on cards. It was on shirts, all of that. Made another poster that ended up becoming the back of the shirt. They liked it so much they made it the back of the shirt. And as you can see an example here. Yeah, so again, I did a little more with this, but at its core, it was, you see, I did some posters and some marketing, some applications of a logo, some branding, again, a website, and a little bit of what the badge looked like at the conference and different things of that nature. So ultimately, it was okay, but I just somewhat slapped things up here. And you see this trend in other things that I have. Here's another project I did. My friend said he needed a quick landing page. I made him one. He was a musician. I made him a brand new page based on WordPress. And I even made a flyer for him to use. But again, if you look at the date, this is 2013. So really, when you look at my portfolio on Behance, it has a lot of old stuff on it. It has a lot of things on it that hasn't been updated in a while. And I just left it there. I didn't improve it. I didn't make it better. I had the thought to come back and do something, but I never did anything. And it just sat there forever. Now, the reason this is problematic is, I never really sent people here. I think back in 2014 I would say, hey, go to Behance, check out my profile. But since then, I don't really send people here because I had my own site and I opted to send people to my personal site. But this still exists, and I'm going to show you why it's problematic. So if I open up an incognito window, just so that we don't have to worry about certain things of the site that I'm on now, I want to search for my name. I'm going to search Nathan Allotey. Now my guess is on Google, my personal site comes up, maybe my YouTube channel, some videos. Let's see. So when I search my name, what I said is true. My personal site comes up first. Again, my personal site, here's my Twitter, there's my LinkedIn, and like I said, here's some videos that I did. So I've worked very hard over the last couple years to get to a point to where if you search my name, I show up in Google and you find me directly because of all the content that I've released. But I want to highlight something. I want to highlight something literally. Look at this. This is my profile on Behance. And though I haven't paid attention to it, though I haven't really changed it, you saw some of the dates that said 2013, 2015, it is still on the first page of Google for me. Which means what? Which means people might be glancing at this profile, and I will click on it. People may be glancing at this profile thinking that this is my best work. And it's not. It's just a profile that I've had that I've done nothing with because my website became the main source of me getting clients. However, this profile sucks. This profile is terrible, and this portfolio really needs to be fixed. So, brings me to this point. I am going to redo this entire portfolio. As a matter of fact, I am going to delete my entire portfolio and start over. So really what I plan on doing is documenting everything I do and turn this into a course. So I really want to invite you along for the journey as I delete my portfolio and fix my portfolio. What does a good portfolio look like in 2019? What does a good portfolio look like that will actually get you clients instead of just existing as a place of record for your previous work? I would call this a project graveyard, really. The only person who needs to know these things is me, but I've just neglected my portfolio. So some people might have stumbled on it and never contacted me. I have never received one client from Behance, and you see why, because of how things are with this. So as I fix my portfolio, I definitely want you along for the journey, and I'll document everything I do, and we can all get better together.